I've just had an invasion of the garden snatchers, nothing short of a full-blown cowpocalypse. Hello my friends, this is Greg Ellis from Green Greg's Garden Worm Farm. Thank you back to my channel. Let's have a look and see what these cows have done to me. Okay, for one, I had a full bale of alfalfa hay out here and some wheat straw. There you can see some of the wheat straw still scattered around. The full bale of alfalfa I bought to feed my chickens. Well, they didn't get one sprig of it because the cows found it before I cut the ropes. And I had amaranth growing here. And they went through this. I had the golden amaranth growing over, giant golden. They ate all my giant golden amaranth. You can see where they went through my garden beds. And this bed here, I like to have these landings in between so I can go up between my beds and work. They really destroyed it right here. They destroyed that landing right there. And they ate most of the amaranth in this bed here, although there's a few sprigs of the red hopi down here. I think that's weeds. I know that's a weed. It's possible that might be a little bit of the giant amaranth, but I think it's all weeds. So I got just a little bit of the red hopi here, and the same thing, I had amaranth on the other side. They ate most of that. They walked through my worm beds, and they actually uncovered a bunch of it. And so I've got to go back and rework some of the worm beds here that's in-ground, my in-ground worm beds. I got 5 in-ground worm beds here. And they ate, over here they started eating my sunflower shoots. And they ate some at the other side, but most of these they just walked through them. And they messed up a lot of plants by walking through them because a lot of them were trampled down. Some have survived, but not nearly what I had before. Now I am taking measures to try to escape this cowpocalypse. And one of the things we're doing is we're about to put a fence up here. And you can see I got this trenching all the way around my chicken garden here because I'm gonna have to put metal in to keep the rats out, and then we're gonna put the fence up on top of this. So I am beginning to take countermeasures, but it all takes time and money. You can see where they really tromped through here. They had to walk down my entire bed and make a mess. I used to think those cats made a mess. Okay, the cats have been surpassed by the cows. But this isn't the biggest things they messed up here. Let me show you the amaranth I had up here. I was planning to do some videos on the amaranth and how it was interesting, how it was growing so much taller at the other end. And I thought it was because of the shade as the sun set from this juniper tree here. Had some real nice tall amaranth here that ate it down. There's a few sprigs left down there, mixed with a little bit of sun shoots, but nothing like what I had. A lot of times they just pulled it up, and then sometimes they just chomped off the ends. Now some of it may come back. I don't know, but I think some of it's just probably going to die. We'll see what it does. That'll be an interesting test. And you can see a stalk or two in there that got bit off, but yeah, they wiped those out. So the amaranth is not looking as good as it did, nowhere near as good. I had some real nice tall amaranth, especially right here. And I just want to attribute it to the shade, but it's gone. Kitty's still here, but the amaranth is not doing so well. And Spunky the cat. So you can see where we're planning to put this fence coming up to here. Fortunately, my main garden, my garden from last year, is fenced in. I took care of that last year. Took some time, but this garden is fenced in. It's got new beds, got more beds than I had in it last year. They're all sunk beds for the moisture retention here in the desert. So you can see my main garden here. Not looking too bad. A lot better than my garden looked at this time last year, as I didn't get it planted until right at the end of June. So there we are, my friends. Hope all this stuff makes. We're doing some improvements. I got 3 ponds on this side, one here, and one further down. They didn't get any water in them last year, or nothing but maybe a little temporary mud puddle at the bottom. This year they collected some water. I expect after a couple of refills, they may hold water permanently, I would hope. I don't know if you can see the other pond from here. I'll walk down here and try to show it to you. It's much further down. I'm surprised that one caught any water at all, being so close to the other one. It's back down there. Let's see. Yeah, it's back over that way. That's my burn pit. So there we are, my friends. We've got, yeah, there wasn't a lot of, see, this pond is right in the headwater of this pond, so I didn't think this would collect as much water as it did. Surprised by that. Are you planting your fall garden yet? This is a perfect time to start planting your fall garden. Your fall garden, there's a lot of greens you can grow, radishes and different things like that, beets. One of the best sources for seeds like that is True Leaf Market. Check out my link to True Leaf Market. My affiliate marketing link will be in the show notes posted below. You can get some really good seeds from True Leaf Market. One of the problems with the Cowpocalypse that I experienced was loss of water. I just had this tank filled up 2,500 gallons and I lost about 1,000 gallons of water in like a day. In a period where I wasn't having to water the garden because of the rains. So that was a shock. Now we've had this one water line in here. We didn't have the whole thing buried. And I did find cow prints across in a couple of places in here. And I thought maybe they had stepped on a water line and ruptured it. We did not find a water leak in this area. Yeah, there's water there that could just be from rainwater. So we got to finish burying this pipe. Keep cows from actually busting it. There's only so many things you can do in a day though. So you can see we started burying it. And you can see, my goodness, cat, you sound so lonely. So now it's also possible they actually stepped in it right up here. We did not check the lines in this from here up, so I may have to dig this back up if I'm still losing water to see where it's at. And I think I want to test that out. Just leave it on for a little while, see what's going on. See when my cat is sounding so desperate here. She needs some loving, some attention, I guess. Yeah, but don't we all, right? Now I was kind of curious after all the rain we had. We had some monsoons. If this thing would totally fill it with water. It never did. In fact, it never had much more water than it's got in it right now. So I was impressed with that. May have to put some kind of floor in there above the ground level so I can walk in here. When I use this as my root cellar, this is my future root cellar for my garden. At first, the cows were reluctant to step in these sunken beds up here because I've got them covered with screen wire. And I think that created kind of a depth perception issue for them until one certain calf discovered that she could walk on this screen wire and eat the tops off my corn and some other things. Now, I want to remove this screen wire once I get all this fenced in. This was initially put in here to keep birds from stealing all my seedlings when they first sprouted, because birds will do that up here given everything being so dry. But they ate the tops off some of my corn and some other things. Rabbits had been an issue up here, but fortunately this garden so far has survived. If I can't get this fencing fast enough, then I'm going to have a big problem up here too. Got a lot of garden beds up here. I have all this is planted out. I got a bed planted out over there, one here. Some of these don't have all the compost in them yet, just because they got wood chips, but not the black compost. Hey, I just run out of money and time. We're past the main planting season, and I just had to switch gears to get the fence thing going. Now, I ordered fence materials 3 weeks before the Cowpocalypse started, and they're just now come in. Isn't that a aggravating thing? 3 weeks before the Cowpocalypse. I couldn't find them here locally directly. And you can see we are trenching up here. We are going to put in the same kind of fencing here I talked about in the chicken garden. This is my commercial garden. This is where I plan to grow vegetables to sell from. But I got to come up with a more sustainable rainwater collection system. I'm thinking some of these areas like here and back on the other side, I'm going to set up a big watershed to collect water and put cisterns at the bottom over here. And these are the loons that I've set up to eventually be my nursery. I plan to put trees out here, but I think I'm going to surround this area with electric wire to keep the cows out. I do have temporary beans coming up there. You're told not to water them too often, so I watered them when I planted them, and now I'm letting the monsoons take care of them. It seems like they're doing okay. They're growing pretty well. I've got some also some sunflowers planted in some of these loons. So I planted them outside of my main garden. So it looks like more temporary beans there. And over here there'll be some sunflowers. The sunflowers I planted are the multi-stem Navajo variety. That's what's coming up right here. Should be. Yeah. Well, we'll see what they look like when they finally get growing. So I do have some things planted on the sides of some of these loons to expand my growing area a little bit. So hopefully we'll get all this planted out and have a heck of a garden next year. So in terms of the water loss, I don't know if they actually shattered the pipe. Maybe we just hadn't found the part that was shattered yet. They did have some damage to my faucet up here. Although I'm at too high a level to really have leaked 1,000 gallons out of my water tank from this garden up here. They did remove the hose with the sprayer that I had mounted on the side of my chicken run outside. And one of them was laying on the ground. It was leaking some water. I have a hard time thinking it leaked 1,000 gallons there, but hey, may have. But the cows, 1,000 gallons of water cost me $100. Let's just be blunt. The hay up here is really expensive. 35 maybe bucks or something for a bale of hay. So, and by eating up my chicken garden, they deprived me of being able to save a lot of money feeding my chickens this fall and winter. So I'm not happy with that. So the cows have cost me money. Now I do have more damage from the cows. I had some nice sun shoots growing here. They mostly ate them up. And my watermelon vine down there is doing pretty good. So I got some watermelon. Got a watermelon vine over there. Hopefully they'll both survive. I got a little one here if the cat don't mess it up. I have to worry about cats in my garden too. So hopefully I get all this fenced in. It'll all be good at that point in time. The cats are out here to control rats. That one is a little bit on the scaredy side. I guess we call her Princess. This is Spunky. Okay, I've got my trailer here. And my trailer is loaded up with 4x4 treated posts that are 10 foot long. And I've also got a bunch of 10 foot long 2x4s. And I got a bunch of T-posts on there, 8 foot long T-posts. This is what I've been waiting for weeks to get. So now we can get up with getting this garden started out in terms of keeping the cows out, hopefully. But it's going to take a little time still. I did earlier get some 10 foot long T-posts down there. There's 64 sheets of metal over there. Now, not all of this goes to here. Some of these, a lot of these corner posts, these 4x4s and all the 2x4s are actually intended for my in-ground worm beds because I plan to rebuild how those are done. I'll show you that in a future worm video. So that's what this stuff is for. And I got some just regular 2x there to make me a little frame so I can span across these beds and lean over and thin out some of the plants that need to be thinned out. Some of them I planted a little thick and I need to thin them out. But that'll make it easier to do that. Now you may say, Greg, why don't you string up an electric fence? Well, I didn't spend all my money on this stuff. I ain't got any more money left to be buying anything with. So it's going to be a challenge. But the reason I'm getting it this way is because, for one, you want to keep rats out of your garden. The only way around here to do that is you got to have sheet metal. And sheet metal's got to be wide enough that you can put about a foot of it in the ground so the rats won't dig out from under it. Then you need about a foot of slick metal up where they can't climb up it. And then we're going to have the fence post in. And then the hog wire is going on top of that. And I've got the clips for that too. So it'll be like my garden down there. I don't know if you can, that way you can see it from up here. But that's the whole theory. And that's the best way to keep rats, cows, and we'll keep the birds out. And that's why I got the chicken wire on top, is to keep the birds out. And it's helped a little bit with the cows, but not that well. So the other thing I got a problem with up here in particular, more so than down there, is wind. The wind has blown a lot of sand back in these beds, and it's actually been really hard on a lot of the plants I've had in here. Believe it or not, there is black compost underneath that sand, but the wind up here is horrendous. So I'm planning to build a windshield. And originally I was planning to use some of this metal for building the windshield, but now I'm planning to put it around the chicken garden. I got some old crinkled up tin. It used to be on my barn that burnt down in Alabama, old log barn, and I will probably use that for windshield and put it up around here. And my gate here is going to have, it's going to have to be covered with tin to keep the wind coming out from this way, because this wind is horrendous. Sometimes it blows extremely strong and will blow for days on end, and it really is hard on the plants up here. This garden suffers more from the wind effects than the one down there. Subscribe, bang the bell, and click all. And for another video, click right here. And thank you all for watching. Greg out.